Liam Ryan of BMS Ireland. Congratulations on winning the overall title at the SFA National Small Business Awards. First of all, what would you say, I know it's a very broad question, but what would you say the secret of your success is?
Well, I think the secret of our success is we're a design development, a research and development company and a manufacturing company, and we market internationally. And the secret of our success, I think, is that we're not afraid to take chances and we're not afraid to innovate. And we try and get as much information as we possibly can. And we supply into the aerospace and the automotive industry. And we are up against markets worldwide, and we meet all the international standards. So what we try to do is that once you know what the standards are, once you know what your market is, then you've got to tackle it. And you've got to visit the countries, you've got to visit the people. We had a stand at the Shanghai exhibition last September, and we had to go put up our stand with the Chinese name. And my son works in China. He's studied there for the last year and a half, and he speaks Mandarin. And that was major to have somebody on the stand that's European, that can speak Chinese, and also to be able to hand out Chinese leaflets. And I think the other important factor is that we don't design in-house. We go out to companies, for instance, Renault, Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes. We visit their plants and we look at what they're doing, and we try and come up with remedies and suggestions. And it's very difficult to do that in an office. So the best place to do it is to get out and to get into the industry and talk to the engineers and the operators and the fabricators. And that's what we try to do. And the other thing is not to hold people's hands, leave them free, and try and bring everybody into the company involved in the decision making, because somebody has a suggestion to make, and it'll either correct something or it'll make a change or it won't. But we try and open it out.
And just about your product, the Paddy torque wrench was your product, but just explain briefly what it actually does, and then just in terms of what's innovative about it.
Well, first of all, the name Paddy came up very, very simply. A number of years ago I was in Germany, and I took over an electronic torque wrench, and they're used for tightening nuts and bolts in cars and in the aerospace industry, or wherever you need to tighten a nut and bolt. And I had to give my product to one of the engineers, and he had 4 other products in his hand, and he came back after testing it and he said, "Who's the guy with the Paddy wrench?" So when I came back, I said, "A perfect name." And the proof of that was in Shanghai this year, when people from Korea came onto our stand and they said, "Is this where the Paddy wrench is made?" So that's important. And basically we look at whether it's the engineering, electronics, aerospace or automotive industry, wherever a nut and bolt has to be tightened, where it has to be tightened accurately, it's important. And we manufacture electronic screwdrivers, we manufacture electronic wrenches, testers, we do the complete range. And we're going into force and pressure meters now, because there's a recession in Ireland at the moment, and I think Irish people are great if there's a recession, because, you get off your backside and you decide there's people unemployed that should be working, and you get out and do it. And it's not that difficult, really. But I think what you have to do is like what we've done in China. You've got to go over and meet the people. You've got to know what makes them think, what turns them on or turns them off, and try and work with them, because basically anybody that's in the engineering industry or in that type of industry, they're basically the same. There's no major difference. It's only just to know the small little nuances that'll make a decision. And once you meet the standards, then that's basically it. We would be the only company worldwide at the moment that have English, German, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, Polish, and Chinese language on our products. Now, you can have them, as you know, on a computer for software, but we have them on our actual products as well. So we'll be the first to do that, and we've a lot of firsts in the products that we've produced.
Right. I'm just curious, you started the business 30 years ago, and it was an engineering distributor. You distributed engineering products. I'm just curious, from the beginning, did you have a vision? Did you see this happening, or how did it come about that you got this success?
I think I was very lucky, because I come from a fairly large family, and from the time I was about 12 years of age, I was milking cows by hand and working with farmers that were making gates and making fences and repairing tractors. My grandfather was a blacksmith, so I made shoes. So I was, you'd be innovative in that way. My grandmother was a dressmaker, and I didn't see an obstacle, and I was extremely lucky when I left secondary school that I got a job in a company that were supplying to the major big international companies like SPS, De Beers, Element 6 in Shannon Airport and in Limerick. And because I was working for very small money, and because I started off delivering, you get to see the workshops and you get to see how they're producing products. And then I went to technical school at night, and then I studied engineering and electronics, and I done it in night courses, and I just love it. And if you like something, well, that's it, you know.
That's great. And Liam, research and development is very important, obviously, within your company. Just lastly, tell me about how you've approached that. I think you've 16 people, is it working?
Well, basically what we've done in research and development, we're very lucky with Limerick University, because they started off as a National Institute for Higher Education, and they took a totally different approach to work than a lot of the other universities. They got some of their students to be put out into industry, and we were in engineering distribution, and our profit margin was dropping down to 5 and 6% from 25%, and we were assembling compressors and generators, and we were assembling generators that competed with Honda, but you don't compete with Honda, so you have to think for something new. And I visited an exhibition in Germany, and I saw that digital readout was coming out in products in 1990. And I came back and walked through the store and saw a range of products, and I said, which of these could I produce electronically with a digital readout? And then once I decided what we were going to do, I went to the university and I took on some Tech Start students, which would be great if the government done it again, which is, instead of the students leaving to go out foreign, give small to medium-sized companies maybe 12 months free or 75% paid of an engineering or an electronic, because we took on electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, design engineering, material science engineering people into our company. We wouldn't have been able to afford it if we didn't get support. And we took these people on, and they developed the products, and we've gradually added to these people. We've now just added a new industrial designer, because we need to change our image. We look at what's in the market, in the competitive marketplace, and you just change. So the people are there. There's brilliant people in this country. All they've got to do is plug into it, and hopefully with the new government that might happen now.